Education, Laurie Kilmartin.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Laurie. Wow.
You guys started. I was looking forward to a Sunday morning of staring. I just sit on
Sure.
the porch and stare.
Oh, nice.
Into the distance. Like a World War One vet.
Hoping that if change were coming, you'd see it. This type of thing.
I'm all bandaged looking up. But and then you're like, oh, you guys want to do it in 5 minutes? No.
Let's knock it out. I say. I have to say, first of all, I have many things. The Julia Louis-Dreyfus on my second listen of those 10 episodes.
Great.
I now like everybody much better. Ruth Reichel, I'm back. I like her again. She does have a lot of privilege and does seem vaguely whatever, but I still like her. Fran Lebowitz.
With Ruth, it was like, oh yeah, and then the LA Times asked me to write oh, what? Okay, that must be nice when they just call you and, hey, you want the job of a lifetime? Yeah.
I met her at Livewire in Portland once.
Yeah.
And so she was so charming and so nice. I bought her book, The Kitchen.
Right.
And it was how Gourmet magazine went under and how sad she was and how it affected her financially. And she almost had to sell her third home, Laurie.
Yeah, you've been angry about this for 3 podcasts now, Jeff.
Right. Well, I listened to her talk again and I was like, fine, she has 3 homes. Anyway, so and then Fran Lebowitz, I was like, the first time I listened to it, I listened to Fran's answers. This time I listened to it and I listened to Julia's questions, and it helped actually humanize Fran Lebowitz, which I'm sure she's pleased to know that I'm willing to humanize her. She doesn't know me. I don't know.
You're a true hero, Jackie.
Well, that's me. Always willing to go the extra yard to hear it again. So last week, if you remember, I mixed up 2 comics at Kyle's party. Yesterday, I mixed up 2 comics, one of whom was making fun of the other comic. And I've decided that all male comics in their 40s who work out have the same body.
Correct.
I can't, there's no evidence to dispute this fact.
So I think it's not my fault. But last night I was mocked openly in the green room at the Comedy and Magic Club. It's like, there's no way those 2 guys look the same. And then blessedly, and for the love of God, I wish I had her name handy. There was a woman sitting across from me who I've met. She was like, at least 6 times, Jackie, I gave you a ride home. And you still have nothing. You still will not remember my name. And she was very funny last night. I could almost tell you one of her jokes, which of course makes me that monster.
You can probably find the lineup on Comedy Magic's Instagram, right?
Right. Or on the fact that I took a picture of the lineup.
Is that
that's what exactly. Don't you do you want to talk about your weekends while I find this woman's name? She was very nice.
Who's not listening? That's always a thrill. Not only did you pop this podcast on me this morning, but now you're not even listening.
Wow, this is not. You're not wrong. Andy Ashcraft is constantly saying, "Can I finish what I was about to say?" And I'm like, "Oh shit." It's not. So know that you're not alone. Know that you're in really good company of people that I really like, that I ignore. So
your picture yet?
Nope.
Well,
so fuck it.
Pull it up, but I don't know who it is. Now you're drawing me into your web of embarrassment, and I don't want to be part of it.
Right. It's she's a good egg. She's a real good egg, you guys. Let it go. Okay. Yeah, she may or may not be listening. She's probably in my phone. Text me. Tell me that it was you.
This counts as a credit. You can use it if you're listening.
Oh my God. It's the worst. Yeah.
Becky, how are your sets at Comedy and Magic?
Pretty good. I mean, 5 minutes, of course, right? And though a couple of sitcom stars didn't seem to have run the ding, But that's fine. They're sitcom stars, and the audience was psyched. So,
Wait, was that one of them?
no. Oh my God, is he a sitcom star?
I guess so, but you know how you sometimes miss.
Oh,
I
dude, how I don't know things. You are completely and entirely.
I
No.
didn't say don't know. I said misname. You just spent 20 minutes telling us you don't know anyone's name, and I
We
used your
20
nice
minutes in.
name. Go ahead.
And
Oh,
Hmm.
well,
yeah,
yeah.
I've
Okay.
watched those.
yeah,
I
those
like both.
and they were both great. So and it wasn't that bad. They did 10 minutes instead of 5. Not
Well,
who
I mean, they're both stand-up, so they know what they're doing. I'm
Yeah.
saying they're running the light deliberately, and
and to do jokes, and it was
Yeah,
a delight.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and they're super famous, so I'm sure the crowd's excited. And
Yeah, they were excited.
and
So-
it's a big ding when you do when it hits 5 minutes. So they probably, I mean, the crowd knows you're running the light.
yeah, the first guy they didn't even ding him.
Oh, really?
No, there was like, he'll get off when he gets off.
Oh,
And
I see.
so funny stuff though. Happy to see it. Happy to see both of those guys who are about our age or older.
The first guy's way older, Jackie, if you don't mind.
You know, the second guy is 5 years younger.
Yes, I do.
So
We're
I amortized them. How about that?
in our birthday month, so
Yes.
coming up. Mine is next Sunday, and yours is then Wednesday, right? Wednesday or
The Thursday. It's Thursday, where I'm having a live dork forest that I'm just going to tell you that Aparna, Maria Bamford, and Mary Mack might be my guests.
Oh, about
The live dork forest at Mic Drop on Thursday, July 20th.
Jackie,
I
I
but
like
get
that you're serializing your booking problems. Like we leave
what's a
everyone
podcast for?
not knowing if you've booked your other podcast, and so you leaving cliffhangers in the pods. I like it.
It's sure. So go to micdropcomedy.com and buy tickets for July 20, 21, or 22. July 20th is going to be a live dork forest, and I'm going to have everybody do time because a live dork forest is only an hour. And so I'm going to let everybody who wants to do 15. Mary Mack was excited about it. Mary Mack's on for sure. Aparna and Maria might have panels that night because it's Comic-Con. But it'll be me and Mick. And if none of them show up, I'm genuinely going to just pull people out of the audience and go, what's your dork? Nope.
Why not? Are they putting you up?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
You got a Friday, Saturday out of Mic Drop, and I just got a Sunday.
It's because I'm better than you. I don't know how to respond to some of these things.
Accusation against you.
It's
So, you have more work than me.
I don't have my entire October is dead. I don't have anything in October. Very sad.
I got a lot of. I will tell you that this guy said he's never had more problems getting road work, and that guy is a constant road worker. So it's not just us; it's a lot of people.
Would you say he's the rich man or the poor man of this guy? And now it's just going to be one type name after another.
Type in.
Poorer.
That's the poor man's version, is
Wait.
Kyle's opinion.
I believe
Okay.
Wait, of these two male comics, you're saying who's poor?
First one's the poorer.
Who's the first one's the less popular of the two?
Huh? That's an interesting one. I mean, one of them
Because
is
in my head, they're the same guy.
no, not to me at all.
No, that's because you don't have face recognition issues. And so whenever I see him, I'm like, oh, good. Nope. And then I like both of them. So that's the good news.
That is good news. Maybe we
For
should
them. Welcome to a cryptic episode. Actually, we're only like 10, 15 minutes in, right? The following 45 minutes are going to be full of names and tips.
I don't like how this one started. It started with a surprise attack, and it just keeps going, becoming more and more annoying. And now you tell me we're not even halfway done.
Did you know that we have a show at the Crow this week?
On Thursday night, yes. With
Yes.
Spider-Man's Danielle Perez. She's one of the spiders. She's Sun
In the
Spider.
Spider-Verse. Yeah, she's Sun Spider in the
When I heard
Spider-Verse.
her voice, I screamed.
Yes. It was
And-
great.
Yeah. And Jasmine Ellis, who is hilarious. It's weird. I haven't worked with Jasmine for a couple months, and then the last like 5 nights we've been on the same show.
Oh, that's awesome. And Katie Hughes, who just
Katie
moved to
Woo.
Los Angeles from Atlanta and is a damn delight.
Maybe one of the coolest people I've met in some time.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
You know what I like about how cool she is? She doesn't care.
Yeah, that's
has
totally it.
She has a a Wes Anderson vibe.
We should
to
all
her.
strive to have some Katie Hughes vibes.
Right.
See, now we're naming names.
Yep. Those are the names. So that's it. It's at like 7:30, right?
It's at 8 o'clock.
Thanks.
I don't.
I literally just plug it along. I've decided that I'm willing to tell people that I've always been an idiot rather than it's some sort of aging process.
Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking we have to pretend that aging doesn't exist until we're in our 70s, and
then
go
embrace it.
all in on it comedically. And again, as I've said before, become the dirty grandmas of comedy. That's when we hit our jackpots, Jackie. We just have to hang in there 15 more years.
Dirty grandmas. I have to say that Ladman was there last night. Very funny.
Hmm.
And she is her hair looks great.
Yes, incredible.
She looks great.
Yep.
Everybody that I like the commitment to just letting it all be her, and she's super smart and funny, and she had a great set. So I was happy to see her.
She's doing her anorexia show, and I guess
Oh
according
wow.
to her Instagram, her one of the New York ones is sold out, so they added a second show. which
Oh,
is
that's
incredibly
neat.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for whatever push Kathy Ladman is doing right now. I'm fucking excited for it.
Yeah. Yeah. She's it's great. I got to see Dwayne Perkins last night. I love Dwayne Perkins. As I said to him as I left, I said, we would be friends if we ever hung out. But we will, I guess, continue to be friendly acquaintances. And he said, yes, we will.
He
He's a
was
delight.
in Europe recently. He was posting pics from like Amsterdam, maybe, I think.
Oh, have you seen all the shows that April Macy's doing all over Europe?
No,
She's in Berlin and Amsterdam and she owns does she own? I feel like they own a small house outside of Florence.
Aren't they?
So-
Isn't her husband European?
I think he might have Italian citizenship.
Jackie, I mean, I guess I'm European, so I don't even know why. I'm
Right.
so rough.
Exactly. Look at you. You're European. You could go to Luxembourg and travel around the EU and it would all be
I
legal.
have big plans.
Is
In
it
about
happening in
5 years,
October?
this
Okay.
podcast will be always at 11 p.m. my time.
Yeah.
She doesn't have kids, right?
No.
If you
Her-
don't have kids, I think those European shows sort of, unless you're hella famous, kind of aren't huge money makers, or more like really fun to do. Which believe me, when my son's 18 and I don't have a child anymore, I'm on it.
Somebody
Assuming
put a
my-
timestamp on this and then play it back to her when her son is 18.
That's like a year and a half.
Right.
But,
Exactly.
I want to do shows in Europe that don't end up netting me anything.
Right. I want to grind it out and be exhausted and think to
Yes.
myself, that was really fun. It's so sad that I didn't make any money.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll be Jim Gaffigan, touring Europe, making money. Some of us are
Did you
doing
see Nikki Glazer's tour? That was huge. It
really.
was, yeah, she blew it up. She blew it up.
I mean, that's the dream. It's I'm like it's becoming more and more elusive, but
Hey, it's not my dream. I would like, here's what I was talking to an Australian comic named Amos.
mhm,
It was spelled Amos, but it's Amos.
sound angry about that.
And
Let it go.
I'm gonna let that go. It's his name. He's a Australian guy from Adelaide. Oh my god, it made me laugh so hard because I said, "Oh, Maria lived in Adelaide for almost a year," and he goes, "We know." And I was like, "What?" He said, she went out with a guy named Steve, and I said, "Yeah, he was a clown." And she said, "Yeah, we still talk about it. How great it was that Maria Bamford lived in Adelaide for almost a year and went out with Steve." And then he said his last name, I can't remember. Nice enough guy, but
Yeah.
and said it was the same year Ben Folds lived in Adelaide.
Now I want to live in Adelaide.
Right? Who doesn't want that cred?
Yeah.
Almost was talking about how great the Fringe Festival or the Comedy Festival in Adelaide is. So
Oh, I mean, you know what? After my son graduates, he goes his own life. Why can't I live in Australia for a year and do comedy? For just a
Right.
year, I'm not gonna, I'll just take a couple gigs. No one has to blackball me. All right.
I have an offer to come in March to play in Melbourne or May or something like that by an old friend, but there's not really enough money in it
Yeah.
to go
Yeah,
for the one thing. So I'm wondering if I go, I could get other weeks, and
Mm.
I could end up breaking even, but I'd have to go for like 2 months.
wow.
And yeah, let me start packing. Okay.
You
And
know what? If all your records start getting played again, etc., maybe you can afford to go 2 months of breaking even.
yeah, Blonde Medicine put my first album, which CD Baby took down, and Staycation, which Blonde Medicine now has. They're both back up on iTunes and Amazon and on Bandcamp. Weirdly enough, he swears by Bandcamp, and I'm like, put them on Bandcamp. Do whatever. Please put them somewhere. And yeah, I am looking for. I don't know.
Staycation is being played then.
No, I haven't. He hasn't let me know.
You'll
Feel
know
free to
it.
text me, Dom, and
You'll
tell
know it.
me. Yeah, he'll text me if it's he'll be psyched. He'll be like, "Oh, it's happening." But I have not received a "it's happening" text from him, so I don't think it's happening.
Shaking my head in anger and fury.
Well, are you Nick Fury? Are you watching Secret Invasion? Probably not.
I'm not.
Okay.
We're.
Well,
I just started Drops of God last night on Apple Plus. Julie Bush, who's a screenwriter on Twitter. I mean, she's a screenwriter who is on Twitter. She always has some good TV recommendations, and it's really good so far.
I've watched Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle 3 times in the last week.
That's 2 unnecessary watchings, if not 3.
It might be the greatest movie ever made.
All right.
It's fun to say out loud. Just because it's obviously not, but it is such a fun, sweet. You know how I can't express to you how disappointed I was with the original Jumanji with Robin Williams. It was an impressionable 30-year-old or whatever the fuck I was. But let me tell you something that The Rock, Jack Black knocks it out of the park. Kieran, forgetting her last name, plays
Gillen.
Nebula. Oh, Gillen?
Gillen.
Oh, I thought that was
Like the comic writer, I used to get it wrong too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got corrected on my podcast.
Is it so
I'm
close
saving you
to?
time. Yeah, it's the first names are spelled different.
Oh, that's so funny. Anyway, let's Laurie, eyebrows.
Listen,
You guys having a conversation? What's going on?
I'm
Killing time.
very polite right now. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about or why I'm here, but I'm just being polite.
Well, you guys can talk about anime, and I will just break out into something else. But it's really good. I don't know if did you see it?
Actually, I did. Now that you're saying it's The Rock, yeah, I did see that and I enjoyed it. It was very, very good.
Yeah, it's super
wouldn't
cute.
watch
It's
it
very fun.
3 times 15 years later, but
You
that's
don't.
you and I, fork off. We're not.
Yes, and I have. We have different ways we have to stop the voices. So the
My son and I, so we got in a fight, about my something I wanted him to do and he doesn't want to do.
okay.
Some
Do you want to type that?
parent-child shit, whatever.
You had a parent-child moment. Okay.
Okay, and I felt terrible because I just don't like being mad at him. So I said, I have a set, but afterwards, do you want to go see Oppenheimer? Because he really wants to see Oppenheimer. And he did. He goes, just so you know, I've read that there's a very graphic sex scene. And so then we agreed we'd go, and look like this, just put our eyes at.
Right. So you didn't have to make any sort of, yeah.
Oppenheimer hasn't opened yet. So we went and we saw Joyride. And
Oh,
a lot of sexual stuff I wasn't anticipating and had not prepped for while sitting with my 16-year-old son.
yes.
It's a very horny movie. It's funny. It's like
Right.
it's a classic to me movie comedy where there's like, how did that happen? But who cares? There's a lot of funny performances, etc.
Okay. Well, yeah, I want to see. There's a couple of movies coming out, and I think Oppenheimer was one of them that I wanted to see.
It's a full frontal from Cillian Murphy.
Oh wow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's something.
Did you ever watch Peaky Blinders?
No.
Oh, he's the star of Peaky Blinders. Do you know who he is? Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
The Irish actor with those giant blue kind of almost unsettling eyes.
Does he have anime eyes?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good for him.
There's apparently a baseball player that looks exactly like him. So every time that baseball player is featured, Cillian Murphy is trending on Twitter. Not the player.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I released my tiny special just to my mailing list.
Oh,
just to Patreon.
Oh, I saw the people commenting on it, but I thought that was on the trailer. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, it's just unlisted and Melanie VC, promotionalrescue.com is the PR person helping me with the new website and the release of Looking Back, a tiny car special. And it's yeah, and so I don't know. So there's a couple hundred views on it and a lot of nice comments and people thought it was silly and funny and somebody even liked a couple of the jokes. And you know how like when somebody likes the jokes, it inspires them to tell the story about whatever they write. So it's a bunch of car jokes. So I've been told a lot about people owning different vehicles. So that's a sign that people like the special.
It is, and that's why everyone take care when you start writing about your dead parents, because the stories you hear after the show are not so upbeat.
Right.
Sorry.
But the 11th, which I think is Tuesday, it'll be everywhere. So the day after, it'll be tomorrow.
Okay.
After this airs.
All right. So
everyone can see it.
Is not airing starting on Tuesday. I think I'd know by now. So that's all right. We have different release dates. That's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is good because then there can be some staggering. Not that the 11-minute me looking into the ass camera of Kyle's car is not as fancy as your beautifully produced 30. Is it an hour? Full hour?
An hour. Jackie, is your blouse ironed?
I'm wearing a coat because it was a little chilly.
There you go. So yeah, to me, you actually have better optics than I did for my hour-long special full of shirt wrinkles.
Yeah. It was the video and the makeup were actually were actually quite nice. And then so I was I'm okay with it. It's I when I somebody said something like, "Oh, did you get the idea from this other place?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm blocking you because it means that you've not watched it and looked at the credits and saw that I got the idea from Scott Marble Cassidy, uh, Maria's husband."
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think it was very funny that Kyle wanted to do a 3-car shoot. He wanted us to park us in 3 different cars and then do it that way, which
Laurie
is
had
funny.
multiple cameras. She just didn't attach them to cars.
Did you have?
I did have a crane car
It was
getting
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's. I was going to ask if you had that zooming thing, because that's a big deal.
Laura House and I walked in and went, "Oh damn, Laurie's got a crane."
I don't think so. I think that's a don't tell thing. I swear the don't tell clips look gorgeous. They really do. They do.
Oh.
I mean, they're going in like furniture stores or whatever and having better lighting than some of these theater gigs, you know?
I don't know that I don't know that I have any. I don't know that I've done those shows, but I need content, so I'd love to have great
You
lighting.
should, because you have a lot of topical stuff too. And, you know, like Gianmarco Cerisi did a really funny thing about drag queens and it just went crazy.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. I'm doing the Pleasure Chest on Tuesday as well. The Dirty Bookstore over in West Hollywood.
I'm very familiar.
Yeah, and
It's actually, Jackie, it's like a vibrator store, but they probably have one dirty book and you're like, it's a bookstore.
they got books. But I like calling it a dirty bookstore because it's an old timey kind of because you know,
New York in the 70s.
yeah. It's I once accidentally walked. The first time I ever went to New York was in 1985, 86.
Mhm.
And I was in Times Square.
Yeah.
And in 1985, it wasn't great. I'm sure it had a lot of character, but I wanted to play video games, and they had a lot of arcades.
Oh, right.
They were not the arcades I was looking for. They were a different kind of arcade. So Tuesday I'm doing the Pleasure Chest, and Thursday I'm doing the Crow, and then the 15th, the Saturday, I'm back at the Comedy and Magic doing a 5-minuter, and then the 16th I'm doing Largo with Patton.
Nice. Wow. I'm doing I'm doing this off of memory. Blind Barber on Monday. I'm doing the Fable on the 12th, which is Wednesday. The 11th I'm doing something, and I'm not up. You guys sprung this podcast on me. I couldn't even go to my refrigerator and look at my whiteboard.
Well, we'll talk amongst ourselves. You want to run over there?
I am. I'm doing the park gig in San Leandro on now. My idea, I decided not to drive up. I bought a plane ticket. I'll fly in on Saturday mid-morning and then hopefully fly out on Saturday night. There's a 7:15 out of Oakland, and there's also a 9. I got the 7:15. Maybe I'll have to change it.
Yeah, that feels really ambitious because it's an afternoon show, right?
It's a 5 p.m. show, and Brian already said 3 people asked to go first. Like, okay. I think it should be preference to people that have a plane because they're not providing a hotel, you know, or travel. I'm just going in for a flat fee.
Right. I am doing a panel in San Diego on the 20th.
Yeah.
At a Marriott.
On the 20th or the 30th? Oh,
the 20th.
You're okay.
Yes, the Comic-Con thing. So I'm doing a Comic-Con panel at like I think 4:00 that is supposed to last an hour, and I said I can stay 45 minutes. I have to go do a sound check for the Dork Forest that night, and but because I'm doing it, I get 2 Comic-Con passes, even though both it's no longer a comic book convention, it's E3. But it's fine. So I still want to go to the store, the giant hall.
Holly,
that has all the toys.
I've been when I was with when we were doing shows with Conan there, we never got Hall H passes. except once at the very end, like almost like someone just gave me their Hall H pass because they were going back home. So we had like an hour and a half to just run around whatever was left of Hall H. I'm like,
Right. Did you get I kind of want a new Amelia Earhart. I like
yeah,
an
my
Amelia
old one is
Earhart.
also quite frayed. So yeah, that happens with our Amelia Earhart. It's a common flaw.
I love a steampunk toy. It does kind of they crack me up. The guns are always really cool looking.
Did you
And
watch Arcane on Netflix?
no,
Oh,
no.
it's steampunk animation. I watched it with my son. It's great. You'd really like it.
Okay, I have to say that
All characters are the leads. Two sisters.
okay. Yeah, Netflix has they were like, "Hey, you have to assign your second you're paying for another person to use your Netflix. Who do you want to assign that to?" And so the way it was working perfectly fine. Andy and our's nephew, young Thomas Pennington, he was our other person on the Netflix, and when I wanted him to call me, I would change the password. Now he's got his own password, and he doesn't ever have to call me. And so I don't even know what I'm paying. They said you're paying for it, and I was like, I wonder what I'm paying. So there's part of me, I got 2 years free Netflix back because they used me as bonus content on Comedians of Comedy,
Oh my God.
one of my sets, because I think Maria mentioned me, and so they wanted it to be bonus content, and I was like, what does it pay? And they said $75.
Oh my
And
God. That's what a guild is supposed to be taking care of.
yeah, it was not a
Never
SAG moment.
into any sort of SAG or WGA stuff. Like comics who do a special should get WGA money, or at least a acknowledgement because you just wrote an entire hour of television,
Have you thought about talking to Spoken Giants about that?
Ah! Oh my God. Retract. Oh God. Never mind. I'm satisfied with my amount of income.
Yeah, it would be literally they'd be like, "Oh, good idea." And yeah. Well, so you haven't heard when it's coming out yet. Somebody told me, who was it? Oh, they said that they did a special. They never heard about it going out, and then they Googled their own name, and it had been on Amazon Prime for months. And it was like $3.99 to rent and 13 something to buy. And his daughter made, like, she was in Amazon Prime, and she said, "Did you rent your own special?" His 10-year-old daughter. And he said, "Well, I had to see what it looked like." And she was like, "It's not done, Dad." And
Not done.
yeah, it was super uncool of him to rent his own special, even though he had not been told or shown his own special. So it was the only way he could see his own special.
That's insane. I don't think that's happening because they were really on my ass to edit it, and I took way too long to, come up with edits because I had to watch it.
Kyle, why don't you check and see if it's streaming on
Also,
Amazon?
we're at 30.
Oh, we're at 30. Let's take a quick break. And let's do Comic of the Week.
Our Comic of the Week is Emily McWinter.
McWinter?
Yes.
And what's her?
We saved her for the summer. Sorry guys.
Yeah, you should. It's and her Instagram is just Emily McWinter, McWinter.
Yeah.
Genuinely funny. Watched a couple of clips, made me laugh out loud. Always a shocker.
Yeah.
And,
yes. Very funny. And from the Midwest, I'm sure her accent made you feel like you were back at home, Jackie.
So nostalgic. Now, Mark Gross. Well, anyway, before I tell that story,
before you tell that story,
let's finish Emily.
Yeah, and check out Emily McWinter, McWinter, and enjoy the Jackie and Laurie bump, Emily.
uh,
So it appears your special is not out, but the New City interview you did for the August show is really prominent. Looks great.
Wait, the new what?
There's a news article about you concerning your April 8th show. Maybe it's from last year, but I think it's from this year.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't want to see it.
You got
So
headline.
all of a sudden Kyle shares screen. Anyway, it so many comics last night, and I think that it was Greg Warren and Mark Gross were there.
oh, nice.
And I just had lunch with them and Augie like a month ago. And when Mark Gross was on, he was the, I think, head writer, showrunner for Mike and Molly, and then a newer show.
Bob and Ibishola.
No,
No.
Billy Gardell's on that.
Yeah.
But I don't think Gross was the guy. I think he had a his own show that I can't remember.
Wow.
But it was he was standing on stage, and he was, all of a sudden he said he was from Nebraska, and I was like, that's who you remind me of, Johnny Carson. His accent
Yeah.
has a little bit of a Johnny Carson vibe to it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was interesting because Carson was, of course, from Nebraska as well. And
Of his hometown, North Platte, remember? He used to always.
no, he was not from North Platte. He was from I used to hate North Platte a lot until Albuquerque took its spot. And Albuquerque, big enough that there's enough people to go, you should go again. But
Wait,
North,
so that one gig with Russ Rivas made you hate all of Albuquerque?
yeah,
All right.
yeah, it literally made me hate if you have a club and you run it so poorly
Right.
that it should be burned to the ground and the people who accidentally wandered in should all get polio, then yes. And I will say this is that there was an audience member, because I made them pay me in cash that Saturday night. And then they said, well, we're not driving you to the airport at 4 a.m. And there was a woman from the audience who said, I'll drive you. So she actually saved Albuquerque for me. And she drove me to the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Now, that sucks because Albuquerque, the original Laughs that Gary Bynum ran, yes,
Mhm.
it paid like shit, as all Gary Bynum did. But it was a great room, and it's a great town. It seems like, I haven't been there in a long time, but it seems like it's a town that's ripe for a good Thursday through Saturday club. It was for a long time. I don't know why it wouldn't be now. And it's a bummer that that just got destroyed.
Right.
Somebody.
And when we say this, there's a couple of chains that I would prefer do not go to Albuquerque.
Oh, I have a list. Yeah.
Right, that don't book us. So don't bogart our Albuquerque if you could. An independent, standing alone club that books me, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I like turquoise or whatever that thing that they have there.
Turquoise and silver. Yes, Jackie. Yeah.
Sure. I like it. I don't mind a sort of a deserty. I mean, it feels like it's the kind of place that would have a lot of Sprouts or Trader Joe's. Like things are happening. Like my people are there. My hippie skippy crystal clutch. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of again, I haven't been there a long time. There's a lot of drunk driving and hot air balloons. That's what I think of Albuquerque. Is get back to the hotel alive and walk back the next day.
I literally, as soon as you said hot air balloons, I pictured a sky full of hot air balloons. So
well,
yes,
I mean,
well
that does
played.
happen sometimes there. But,
No, I think they have a festival or a con or a balloon thing.
yeah, sure.
And Oshkosh, Wisconsin has an air show that occasionally people crash, and it's not balloons. It's yeah.
I got a baseball cap from the Oshkosh gig, and my dog has not yet destroyed it. This is pretty exciting. I'm saying this is almost month 3 of my Oshkosh cap.
Andy did a very Maria Bamford thing, by the way, in the way that we went to Universal for breakfast the other day because
Yeah.
we have season tickets. And sometimes Andy's like, I kind of want an English breakfast. Let's go to the Three Broomsticks.
Really?
Yeah.
You went
As
to
opposed
Universal Studios to have breakfast?
Yeah, as opposed to just going to the British pub, which is about 17 blocks from here.
Okay.
We went to we parked up at Universal and went to the Three Broomsticks.
I can't imagine anything less pleasurable than driving to Universal parking and then wandering in to get
Through the city walk, to walk through the city walk. You're right on every level.
Thank you.
And yet we had a lovely time. So but we were coming back and the Mario land is in full. And so we were in one of the stores and there was I love a baseball cap. And so there was a really cool baseball cap and Andy goes, do you want this baseball cap for your birthday? And I said, yes. And so he said, walk over there. And then he bought it and now it is hidden in our room, but it's not that hidden. I can see it every day. And one day my birthday will happen and I will get that hat. But
it'll be in about 10
not
days.
about 10 days I'll get to wear that baseball cap.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want for your birthday, Laurie?
Jackie, I just want a spot.
You want a full calendar? Would you like a full calendar?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing on my birthday. I did get an invitation by another writer who has the same birthday.
Oh, there you go.
But I did put in for spots. Just because of the week after my birthday, then I go to Acme and I just want to be, all in fighting shape,
Ready. Oh, I picked up, there's some sort of panel and I didn't ask for any money. I should have asked. I asked for 2 more nights of hotel and some air. They said no to the air, but they said yes to the hotel. To do some weird panel at Hamlin University 2 days before my Acme in September. And I said, well, can I fly in the night before the panel, which is 2 nights before I would fly into Minneapolis on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do the panel on Tuesday. And then the week at Acme starts on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So do you know who's featuring for you at Acme?
Yes. Tony Kameen, my dear friend from
Oh,
San Francisco. We often work the punchline together.
yes.
I'm excited. I love Tony. I've known him my entire adult life practically.
He's a delight. He's a great guy. He's a really good guy.
Yeah.
Augie. Oh,
yeah.
Augie. Speaking of favorite dudes in stand-up comedy, I've known Augie Smith almost 30 odd years, right?
Love Augie Smith.
And he was at the Comedy and Magic on Friday because it was 1 show Friday, 2 shows Saturday. I did all 3. And Augie got up on Friday and he has got this great bit that I'm not even going to do it justice, but it's just about deadbeat dads and how it just lowers the bar for him. And he'd like to raise a toast. You guys ran so that I could walk. And there's like 6 of those great jokes in there.
God,
it was pretty great. And
hey, Jackie, thank you for getting me on the comics list.
Right.
Tracked. That's exciting.
Yeah, who doesn't like you? That's what it's so funny that he quoted that about me, about being a comics comic.
The audience don't like me, but the and that's great.
Yeah, that was a good list. It was interesting that he wanted to interview me. I was like, so is nobody saying me? Is that what's happening?
You've hit more mainstream success. I'm apparently niche.
Well, one of the staff at the comedy would not stop saying over and over, why have I never heard of you? Like literally, I think you're great. You're so great. Where have you? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Well kept secret in show business. But that was he asked me for comics, and some people he picked, like he quoted me as, because Norm Macdonald isn't my comics comic, right?
Right.
He wasn't a guy that I would have stayed in the room for.
Oh, really?
No. Gilbert Gottfried either. I would have been like, oh, I think it's going to be mean. I got to go.
Okay.
Kaufman, not that those guys aren't comics, because they are. I mean, that was the whole thing about the article, which I thought was interesting, is how subjective it is.
Yeah, right.
Just like comedy itself, obviously. But like the people that I stay in the room for, I'm like, what is going? Like when you're on stage, I stay in the room because I'm like, you're going to talk to some audience member. It's going to be ridiculous and awesome. And
I work on material every single night.
no, I know, but sometimes there'll be an audience because not in every set, but you notice things. I'm not looking at the audience. I'm looking toward the audience. You're looking at the audience. I am telling jokes near them.
In their direction.
Yes. You are somehow trying to have a connection.
Yes. Well, anyway, that was nice of you. I appreciated that. And oh my goodness, we're at 45. The clock is winding down when we're being genuinely complimentary.
Let's take a quick break. Yeah, so we have lots of shows. I want to go everywhere. I do want to go to Europe. I do want to go to Australia.
Yeah.
I even want to go to Albuquerque. So
yeah. Oh, I saw Joyride last night, and now I want to go to Beijing. I didn't want to go before, but I still don't. I don't trust the government. It seems a little.
Did you hear about Jocelyn Chai? Is that?
Oh my God! Yes.
The Malaysian Singapore joke.
Oh my God!
It was literally just a joke about the history of the Malaysian Singapore relations, and then a reference to the airplane.
Unbelievable.
And Interpol. They talked to fucking Interpol they're like, could you arrest
It's an
Jocelyn?
international incident. It's horrible for her. I mean, maybe it's great in the long run, but it might be like a Kathy Griffin sort of that Trump head photo for a while. It's awful. That was a couple weeks ago when it happened, and then she's from Singapore. And she's talking about the history between Singapore and Malaysia, and there were Malaysians in the audience, so she kind of went at them pretty hard. To me, it was, again, I'm not saying these are the similar histories, but it'd be like getting mad at an Irish comic for making jokes about the British. That's the sense I got.
Oh, that actually feels like a very good, comparison.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, that's got to be fucking terrifying. That once that level is like death threats kind of thing.
Right, and death threats of everyone who was on the show with her.
Wow.
Yeah, like they were like, you don't need to work with this woman. You don't need to work with this woman. Is what on flyers for shows she was doing in New York City. She lives in the United States. She is an American. There's no extradition.
Rescinded her, like Singapore was very like, oh, we'll take care of, like they didn't, the government didn't defend her, and say, hey, she can stay.
Oh no.
They're like, we're very sorry. And they came after her too. Like it's really astonishing.
Right. And it reminds me of when there's gigs in Singapore. If you do a gig in Singapore, you can't make fun of the government, right? That's one of their rules. Yeah. So I have like 9 Maria Bamford stories. There you go. But Bamford did the gig once, and so she got up and she said, I am told I cannot make fun of the Singapore government, so let me make fun of my own government. And then she did a couple of jokes about the US government. She got off stage and someone came up to her and said, you can't say that you can't make fun of the Singapore government.
Wow.
And so that's where that went.
Yeah.
And
that's we usually don't have to deal with that shit. We comedians just get called hacks or something.
I watched the set though. Did you watch Jocelyn's set?
Yeah, it was very funny.
Yeah. She was like, usually some of these jokes don't land.
I know. She kept going. Oh, and her spirit of fighting back. She's not apologizing. She just keeps digging. Yeah. I love it. That's
double down, sister.
hopefully,
I don't think she's been a comic of the week. Maybe we can make her a comic of the
Yeah,
week in
for
a couple
sure.
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from Emily McWinter.
oh no. But yeah, that's just terrifying. That reminds me of Dina, what's her last name, when she made fun of Extension, and she just had one joke about he was a rapper who died, and she had one
Okay.
joke about it, and his fans
Oh,
his
lost
fans
their
went
minds.
bananas. So,
Ugh.
and that was also a Seller clip. Oh, the Sellers they're courting controversy with their clips.
Shocking no one. And it's I wish they had tape of CK just blocking the door with his anyway.
Yeah,
With
sure.
his dick in his hand. Yeah.
Only to get a million comics and male comics saying, "So what? You
So
could wa-
what? You could have walked around. You could have
Did you read the Jonah Hill stuff?
no.
Oh, okay. So his ex-girlfriend released texts that he's very controlling and going through her Instagram, telling her which pictures he doesn't want up anymore, and
Of himself?
no, of
Or
her.
oh
She was
God.
she was a professional surfer. That's how he found her, was her being on a swimsuit, in a swimsuit on a surfboard, looking amazing on Instagram. And then after they started dating, he asked her to take down the pictures of her with in a swimsuit. She's a fucking professional surfer.
Yeah.
That's like asking us to take the mics out of our hands.
Yeah. And did they break up?
They did. It didn't last,
Yeah.
thankfully.
Get out. Get
But,
away from
Jack,
yeah.
yeah, you missed a huge trending topic on Twitter. I don't know how you missed that.
What are you gonna do about this supposed new thing, Facebook Threads?
I'm not at the moment I'm not participating, because here's the thing: if TikTok gets banned and if Twitter goes down, then we're all on Instagram and Threads, and that's the same I mean, it's those are the two same owners as Facebook. It's just a complete monopoly of our information. It's not good.
Right.
Zuckerberg in charge of all three.
No, I know that, but I don't know that I'm going to Threads for others. I would be going to Threads for myself to post more stuff. I have a 2-hour meeting with Melanie VC from Promotional Rescue to tell me how to post on Instagram and TikTok and stuff. And my brain is, I'm looking forward to learning things. Don't think I'm not. But I'm exhausted at the idea. So
I go like we're gonna have Virginia run our Instagram, because
yeah,
it's
someone should.
someone should, right? And I just zone, like sometimes I'm like really good about clipping things out, and then I just zone out for like 5 days. Like I can't look at Instagram, or I can't even participate. It's so much work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you don't have
It's a-
something to post and you're just looking at what other people have posted, it just makes you, it's like, "Oh, I should be doing that."
I didn't like either of my sets last night, and Bill at the Comedy and Magic was like, as I walked out, I said, "You can keep those two," and and he goes, "Really?" And I said, "No, send them. There might be something. I don't know. I don't
I
know what to."
just reminded me, I do have an Ozempic joke I'll just throw up because it's topical.
What is that again?
It's this weight loss drug that it
Oh,
makes
right.
you uninterested in food, which and they say it's making people uninterested in compulsive behavior. It might be an anti-addiction thing, but the scary thing is again, they don't know, like, if you stop taking it, are you ravenous again? And then is that, I don't know. And he's sort of fucking around with your body, just,
Yeah.
it seems like
Remember the thing that created anal leakage back in the day?
I think,
Olenda,
Yeah.
Olina,
oh yeah, right.
Olesta.
oh
That's
no,
right.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
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 I didn't want to take that either, but I had an aunt who took it. She said it was pretty good.
Is she still with us?
Yeah, she's still with us and pretty thin. So she's probably taking whatever ozone thing is out now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are we at here?
We're at 53.
Oh my god.
So close. So close to you guys. Is if you were to have questions and would post them on Patreon, I would go look at them. and then I would read them out loud in these last 15 minutes that where we're looking for something to talk about.
Jackie, can we don't need to go to the audience for
Oh,
crowd work. We're
you're,
we can have
you know what? You're
pauses
right.
where
You're
we
right.
try to think of things.
I'm supposed to be at Laura House's house, Laura House,
Mhm.
to do Joke Machine in about 15 minutes.
Oh, so
But
is
she only lives 7 minutes from me. So we have 7 more minutes of this, and then I'm going to drive over to Laura House's house.
well, that's a very flattering way of putting a conversation with me. Thank you. 7 more
You
minutes.
did you invite me to do Joke Machine at your house? You didn't. So
No. Yeah, there's lots to be done. I have been fixing things that have I put off for a while. It's nice to know I can do little tiny tasks.
yeah, like what are a tiny task? Is it like a tiny victory? The Laura House's Max Fun.
Incredibly tiny victory. I screwed in a screw with a screwdriver of something that had fallen off and
Okay.
stayed. So I fixed it, Jackie.
That is a tiny victory, though.
Yes. Taken a lot of things to recycling. I had a lot of stuff stored, and I did a big old drop off at 2 different recycling centers because one of them only takes hazardous stuff. So I had lots of paints and house paints and stuff like that to drop off. And then I separated my metals from everything and dropped that off in the other recycling because I like to do that, Jackie, because I
Yeah.
care about our planet's future. Unlike
Right.
you, I'm sure doesn't even have a separate recycling trash container in your kitchen.
We do. It's called
Oh.
a stack of batteries. Anyway,
That's how you recycle?
yeah, that's how I recycle like sort of the electronics and stuff. They're
Yeah.
stacked on top of the dryer until I think about bringing them over to your house. And then
Yeah, I have 2 chairs that are rotting in my backyard that you brought over. For
that
me.
was for our show. That was
Yeah,
for the show.
Yeah, and you didn't take them back, and you
And I
never
won't ever
like,
take them
have
back.
'em. I'm like, I don't want them. I never want this many people near me again in my home space.
I have to say that did you hear about the new food buckets we're getting on Monday? On Monday, Los Angeles is getting food buckets where there's going to be a new rule with recycling the bins.
With
The green bin, yeah, is all food. It's all vegetation, including like meat bones, which sounds disgusting. And it can include paper that has food on it. So the blue bin is just going to be clean paper and clean non-food metal. Yeah.
Oh.
And yeah, in an effort to do something about the garbage that 11 million people are bringing into this world.
Yeah, the food garbage in a landfill causes carbon dioxide or whatever.
You should go to Janesville, Wisconsin. They have these long poles that go into their trash heap, and at night the methane lights up just when it contacts. Just when it contacts oxygen.
Oh my god!
So there's just torches all over it because it's releasing that methane gas. No. And it also is on fire during the day, but you only see it at night because of the darkness.
Gotcha. Well, I never want to go to Janesville, New York, and then you're lean forward.
It's Janesville, Wisconsin.
Whatever. I don't want to go.
Pete Lee and Andy Smith are from. It's a comic related moment.
You didn't sell it to me.